Hello and welcome everybody back to another stream of FTB1 Skies with Fallen. Glad to be here. Glad to be back from my house sitting trip. It's been weird going 2 days without a stream on the server. But we're back and I wanted to catch up to where we are, and then we're going to start off the stream by building our turbine reactor right above our fission reactor, and then we're going to work on processing our nuclear waste into polonium and plutonium pellets. Now, something I'm excited to share with you all is that I have gone through and completed a few more quest sections. While I couldn't stream while I was gone, I could play, and I finished out the digital section. Just some quick auto crafts, as well as the portable storage section. Did a bit of the multi-block kitchen crafting, as well as finished the base expansion area and the thermal expansion. All of these were just simple crafts, just threw them in the auto crafting and we were good to go. In terms of changes to the base, I added 5 more hives of spatial bees to increase our Certus quartz production, because I've been needing to upgrade our storage and I've needed Certus quartz to do that. I did add direct emerald input into this trader for Certus quartz as well. I worked on a few runes, which if we get my spell book, I really mean it was just a couple. Where is, I believe if I type mage, it should be here. Oh, it's in my inventory. All I did was craft first few of these glyphs, and we're gonna have quite a few more to craft. I tore down my sources here for elemental craft because I crafted all of the firite ingots I would need, and we found that sources and gathering from them were causing issues on the server. And since I am going to be getting creative sources somewhere along, I think it's the quest I'm doing, creative sources, there was no need to have them active. I crafted a few Botania runes, just had them crafting in the background. If we type rune, we can see here. I can now craft some more Rune of Earth, because I solved our mushroom issue by crafting some phytogenic insulators that are just fed bone meal and red mushroom. If you're curious about this setup where there's only a single connection, the power is coming from our modular router, and all I have at the bottom is an ME interface that supplies bone meal, water, and red mushrooms, and inside of the phytogenic insulator, we come to the blue tab configuration, set input output out the bottom, and tell it that it auto pulls items from the interface, which fills our water, bone meal, red mushroom, and then auto outputs out the bottom as well back into the system. This is giving us a good amount of mushrooms that should be able to keep up with any runes we need to craft, which is fantastic. Let's see, what else did I do? I came over and at one of the nuclear waste barrels where most of the nuclear waste is coming, to prepare for this stream, I have our nuclear waste going into an isotopic centrifuge producing plutonium, and some of the waste goes into a solar neutron activator producing polonium. This way we won't be waiting on processing. I've only had the reactor running at a 1 millibucket a tick rate, but once we have the turbine hooked up to it and processing set up, we're going to ramp this up a bit so that we can get everything we need from it. Over here at the mob farm, I've had the spawners off for the most part because we have plenty of resources from them. The only thing I wish is that I set up a way to turn on just the witch spawner, which I might be able to do if I just put a lever that I can see from here. But as for now, if I get a little low on redstone, I just turn on our spawners, and among the blazes, blizzes, and wither skeletons, you'll see we're also getting witches, which are fantastic for our redstone needs. I think that's about all that I did. Let me come over here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is all I've set up for now. You are now officially caught up with what has happened in the world since I last played. Just tons of auto crafting setup, tons of simple quest turn-ins. I've just been crafting around 40,000 fissile fuel at a time, but it looks like it's stuck on something. I think restarting the server caused it to freeze. So why don't we cancel this craft and restart it? We'll go ahead and just craft another 40,000. Might be faster to just type this. Oh, I know one more thing I did. Let's see, is this working now? Yeah, I think we're good. To streamline the process of producing our fissile fuel, I didn't want it sending a quarter of a bucket into a machine and it runs and then it waits and then it gives it a quarter. So I went through and I changed all the patterns to full buckets where I could, so that it gives them full buckets of fluid or full buckets of chemicals at a time anywhere that didn't require items. So like for instance here it requires fluorite, so I can't change that recipe. I then also added some 16 million mega crafting storage to all of our crafting CPUs, which I still need to get some more set up because I keep hitting my 6 at a time, which is kind of rough. But now we're caught up. So why don't we get started on the turbine? I've gone ahead and auto-crafted a bunch of materials for it. We're going to need reactor glass. Let me clean up my inventory a little bit here. And if we just search turbine, we'll get most of the materials we need to start with, such as rotor blades, turbine casing, and a couple valves. I just clicked 100 on all of them. I know I won't end up using most of these resources, but I was being lazy. You know how it is when you're not at home. You're just trying to pass the time. And so I crafted way more than we needed. I'm building this by hand, and we have a wand. Let's go ahead and use it. Definitely going to need a lot more turbine casing. Let's go ahead and get that started here. And fill out our base here. Now what we're going to do is where we have the 4 heat coming out, we're going to have 4 heat going in. And then we're just going to have an RF output here. Now, I'm not sure how big our turbine's going to be, because what matters is that the blades don't touch the edge blocks. So what we're going to do is just build this up until our blades are too wide, and then we'll know, too wide as in TOO, as in they go past this line, and then we'll know we have the right size of reactor. Just gonna place a few more blades, see where we're at. Still got space. How about here? Let's see, if I line myself up like this. Oh geez. If I line myself up. Gosh, I hate auto step with a passion. I really do. We can go maybe one more. And it won't hit the sides, I'm thinking. We'll call that good for now. And what we're going to need to do is build up the corners, but I'm going to take a snooze first, just so that we don't have any hostile mobs spawning anywhere, and so that our solar neutron activators are active. If you're curious, since it's powered by solar, you do need to be in the daytime for it to be working. Because I've got one up here that's turning my lithium into the beginnings of DT fuel, and I've got the one there giving us the polonium. Let's go ahead and build up our sides. And I believe I mostly remember how to build this structure, but I think we can ponder one of the items and it will show us. The only thing I always mess up is the pressure exchangers, and if there is a block in the side of the wall when you make those. So we'll go ahead and double check that we're going to do this right. There we go, turbine valve. So what I'm curious about is this part right here. So rotational complex, I know that. Then the pressure dispersers. And then is it vents immediately? Let's see, it's doing the magnets. I know the magnets. Let's see, is it vents immediately? It is vents, okay. So let's grab our rotational complex. I think I need to make it real fast. And we're gonna need our pressure. Oh, did I not? I swear I made a pattern and crafted these, but I guess I didn't. So we'll go ahead and get these now. We'll place our rotational complex and place our glass. So I do like the look of seeing the rotor spin. You know, it's always kind of cool. But I believe if we stand here, we should be able to build all four sides at once. Perfect. And now I'm going to need probably 3 layers. 4. I'm going to say 4. See if our pressure dispersers are done. They're slowly coming in. We can start with our vents right now, which I can already tell I'm going to need more of them. So let's get our vents. Start getting these down. Oh. Somehow I placed it over the edge. We'll make a ring of these. And I don't mind having excess amounts for if we end up expanding later. I'm going to place our pressure dispersers. And then I'm going to need a... Let's see, if I come into Mekanism and see it, I'll know what it is. So we're going to need an electromagnetic coil. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember if the block above it was different. An electromagnetic coil on top, and then I believe it's just however many you place. Normally, I believe I've heard you only need like 7 of these. But I'm just going to fill the thing. I don't care. No, we can. I know it's safe to fill it. Going to go ahead and finish our turbine casing along the edge. And we will do the roof as soon as we fill this with everything it needs. I do believe our turbine is at a satisfactory 8. I don't think our blades are touching the wall. All right, they're coming in. So let's go ahead and fill this with coils. Like I said, I don't know if the you only need 7 is still a thing, but just to be safe, we'll really fill this thing up. See if we got enough here. It's going to be close. I think we did it. Okay, perfect. And then we'll go ahead and just use casing to fill in the rest. And it multi-blocked. Those red particles are what we were looking for. So this is now an active turbine. What I'm going to do is come over here and scram the reactor so that I can pipe our heat up to the top. We're going to need pressurized tubes. And I'll run this up, and it should come right to here, where I don't think I need to... I don't think I need to set what this is, but just in case... Yep, don't need to change it. So we'll go ahead and keep doing that. Hopefully it's able to handle all the heat we produce. If it isn't, we will simply add a trash can to void any of the extra heat. I'm going to go ahead, and I like to keep these pipes separate, because it can actually help give you a understanding of how much steam or heat is going through the system. So let's go ahead and disconnect these pipes. All the way up to the top. Okay. They're all still set to pull. Lastly, all I need to do is add a plug. Oop, not a plug. Add a plug to our reactor and give it a much higher rate limit. Looks like it does want more vents and could use more blades, but let's go ahead and see what happens at just 1 millibucket a tick. So we're only using one of the pipes. This is just slowly starting to turn, and it's already producing 68,000 forge energy. So let's go ahead and pump this up to 5. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now that we have the turbine to produce our power, I'm going to turn off our biofuel requester and shut off our gas burning generators. As our plug is coming directly into here. Perfect. Now, the only thing limiting us on how fast we can run this reactor is the water. So what I'm going to do is place a pipe that I know can go a bit faster than... So these can do a 256 millibuckets a tick. Let's see what the pipe can do. A 100. Okay, maybe not then. We'll keep using the... Unless... Do we attempt to use our infinity pipe? Since it's only for water, we don't have to worry about it voiding anything. And that should allow us to... So if we turn on the reactor and pump this to, say, 20, is it going to nuke our water, or is the infinity going to keep it up? Infinity's keeping it up. And our turbines now, yeah, 1.3 million. I don't think our system keeps up with that much fissile fuel, though. Yeah, not at all. But I'll run it at this rate just to get us some more polonium and plutonium. Let me go ahead and take a snooze. Get rid of this bad weather. And so far, it's keeping up. We have quite the backlog of fuel. So even though we're losing fuel, we don't really have to worry about it. And that sets up our turbine. It looks like we're still only using one heat pipe, which is fantastic. Eventually, we'll try cranking this to a much higher amount, such as trying 50. Let's see what we get to. Look at that RF generation. That is fantastic. I'm curious, can we handle 100? Water's keeping up because of the infinity upgrade. We're totally draining our fuel a lot faster now, though. Not as fast as you'd think, though. Like, that would take a while to count down from 17,000. And now we're producing 6.8 million RF a tick. It's fantastic, but the main reason I want that on is to get us some more nuclear waste a bit faster here. Because now we are going to process our plutonium and our polonium. So let's go ahead and get set up to do that. Gonna need to set up a few things. Why don't we go ahead and process our... What's the one for the quest? Plutonium. And this is our plutonium. Okay. So to make plutonium pellets... Oh, whoa, I typed that way wrong. To make our plutonium pellets, it's just a pressurized reaction chamber with water, fluorite dust, and plutonium. So let's get a pressurized reaction chamber. I believe I've already crafted the 2 that we'll need. And I'll put one down here. And I'll put one over here. Now, both of these are going to need power. So we'll grab 2 flux points. We'll place one on top here. And on top over here. Now, inside of our configuration, our item config, we're going to have it auto eject out of the front. So I'm going to clear all for item, and we're going to do input output out the front. Or you know what? I think what we'll actually do is output out the front, input from the right for that. Our fluids will be input from the right, that works. And our gases will be input from the left, no output. We'll just set that. Now all we need is to hook up a pressurized tube here. That fills this with the plutonium. And then I'm just going to run a cable with a interface and a export bus. Oh, I forgot to grab the cables. Let's go ahead and grab those. Not cablers, cables. Holy cow. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll just come on down, place our interface at the front with an export bus out the side. Let's check our channels here. That puts us at 5. So we're okay so far. And what I need to export, we'll go ahead and increase the size, give it some speed, and say, please give this some water. And fluorite dust. Now, the fluorite dust, we probably need to set a pattern for to have it crushed. Let's go ahead and come over here to one of our pressing, smelting, crushing. Okay, and we'll... How is there still a craft coming through for... Oh, it's our ethylene producers are requesting that. So why don't we go ahead and shut these off? Which one has the crafting? Neither has a crafting card. But I'll just turn off the biofuel. That should shut those off in a minute. But anyway, we'll come to one of our crushers. And we will give it our fluorite dust pattern. Now, our fluorite, I do want to put on a... Craft that for me, please. See if this works. And lastly, all we need to do is take our spent nuclear waste. And set up some nuclear barrels over here. Or waste barrels. There they are. Just put a few down. With, again, our pressurized pipe, I believe. And I do need to say that our gases will eject out the bottom. And have them come over to these barrels. I don't believe I need to set this to pull, but we will anyway. And then we'll go ahead and fix this ground back up. So we should now have received the plutonium pellets. Oh, maybe not. Oh, it is not. Item auto eject on. There is our pellets. Which for some reason... Oh, I have to submit it manually. I forgot. Which gives us a creative energy cell, the flight totem, a creative controller, and creative sources for elemental craft. So I'm going to go throw our creative energy cell on the ME system. I'm going to come over here, and over where I'm doing crafting, I'm going to place our fire, our air, our earth, and our water. Set these to pull. And we are good. We'll go ahead and learn the flight totem. Not quite as good as the jetpack, but all right nonetheless. Uh-oh. We're producing too much. Let's jump down to 20. I guess our flow rate is not enough. But that's all right. Oh, I need to dump excess. That's what I need to do. That was my bad. Okay. Now, before we jump head first into the final row of quests, first thing is that I have not been making DT fuel, but I have been making tritium. So all we need is deuterium. So we're going to need some mechanism pumps. I'll make them as a pattern. We'll need mechanism pumps as well as filters, because if you put filters on an electric pump, it only gets heavy water. So we'll go ahead and make a pattern for a filter as well. And what we'll do is somewhere probably right here. I don't want our water freezing, so let me actually grab some glowstone. And place it on the bottom. And we'll just need some water. Oh, are we out of buckets? But we will just place our water down here. I'm going to put some covers or facades so that this looks more natural. And I want 4 pumps. Two, 3, 4, and we're gonna need filter upgrades. Oh, tin dust. We missed a part. We'll come and make a pattern for tin dust, which I know we can just crush. And throw it in one of our crushers. Now I should be able to request some filter upgrades. Go ahead and place our pumps down. As well as take some anchors. Some cable. Oh, don't want it connecting there. Let's actually do that. Then just some interfaces. I know we could use pipes to put it all into one interface, but I've got channels to spare. We'll take our filter upgrades. Yeah, okay, it can take it. I want it. Does it need power to install the filter? It's weird. But we'll install a filter on each of these. Okay. Oh, and you know what? It wants to put it out the top. I was not thinking when I did that. So let me actually break these pumps. And we'll come over top them. With interfaces. And cable. And then we'll just give it power using pipes. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and grab a point. And just toss it right here. And tell this pipe to pull that power to the pumps. These should all now be producing heavy water. It says no fluid. Is it just happening faster than the pumps can show? Yeah, there we go. So we're getting heavy water. These can be upgraded with speed and efficiency. So why don't we grab some of those? So we'll go upgrade, grab speed 1, 2, 3, 4, and energy 1. We'll go ahead and install these. And just make sure that is all we can give it. And now we should be producing heavy water pretty quickly. Beautiful. Now the heavy water is going to go into an electrolytic separator. Right? Let me actually double check. Yeah, electrolytic separator. Which I am just going to place right here. And we'll just be producing deuterium, I think. So I'm going to need an export bus and an interface. Now what I can do is come in here, and item config we don't really care about, but our fluids, okay, can be input from either side, and we'll have our gases both eject out the back. Oh, it won't let me, really? Darn. Okay, well, we'll output one out the side, one out the side. We'll need one more interface, because this should only be at 4. Yep. What we'll do is we'll place an interface here, export bus in the back. Oh, come on. I know you can go where I want you to. And our export bus only needs to export heavy water. And then place down our cables. Make sure it is auto-ejecting gases. And let's see what upgrades this can take. So this can take muffling, energy, and speed. Let's go ahead and grab those. We'll get our muffle. And our speed and our energy. Looks like we're struggling to keep up with power with all of these. What if I set this to round robin? Oh, doesn't look like that'll work. So let's go ahead and give this a bit more power using our tried and true method of just hooking up another side. Now it's getting some of the power it needs. But our deuterium should be coming in now. If I could spell it. Oh yeah, we're cooking. Now all that's left is a chemical infuser that's going to mix our tritium and our deuterium into DT fuel. So we'll go ahead and get our chemical infuser. And what we'll do is have it get its power directly from this point. And can I input, output? How did I place it? Did I place it this way? Yeah, I did. Okay. And what we're going to do is come to our gases and say input, output out the back, and input, output out the right. Now, the reason I'm doing this is I'm going to try to use our same export and interface trick we've been using. We go ahead and wire up the machine. And I'm going to increase the size as well as give a crafting card to this one. And I'm going to tell it to give... Oh, geez. I can think. I really can. I promise. Let me see here. I need tritium. And what's the other one called? And deuterium. That's what it is. So deuterium and tritium. Let's see. Deuterium came in. Tritium came in. And let's give this some upgrades. And make sure we keep a stock here. Go ahead and upgrade this machine. So now we're getting liquid DT fuel. As well as if it runs out, it'll auto-craft it. And we've already got enough for the quest. So let's go and do that before we even worry about processing any polonium. Let's go do this. So for the next step of our endgame quest, we need to give 100 billion forge energy and 100 buckets of liquid DT fuel. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to change this quest to DT fuel and set this to, of liquid. Of course it wants liquid. Why wouldn't it want liquid? Gonna need a condensator. And we'll put it just right here. With gas being input out the top and fluids being auto-ejected out the right. Get another export bus. For the top, and an interface for the right, saying please give this DT fuel. Or you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, let's do this with a pattern provider. So I'm just going to set everything to input output. because I don't want to be producing liquid unless I specifically need it. So I think a pattern provider with a pattern for liquid DT throw it in here, and see how it says 0.001, 0.001? Well, if you've unbound all the other middle mouse buttons, you can middle mouse click and change this to 1 bucket and 1 bucket, which is what I want. Let's go ahead and try to craft 100 buckets of it. See if it works. This will, of course, need some upgrades. And now we're cooking. So we're getting our liquid DT fuel, which we are going to pump into the task screen. So I'm going to grab liquid DT, set that to our filter, and it will fill up. As well as our energy needs to be set to 100 billion FE. And it's going. Oh no, because we're on 1.0.4, it's still limited. But luckily, after this stream, we're actually updating the server to another version. And what I can do to try to help this. You know what? We'll just let it run. There's nothing else I can do other than hook up multiple task screens. I don't think wiring it up would help. Let's give it a try. Oh, it does. Ooh. So why don't I just hook up pipes all around this? Now we're cooking a bit faster. But it's still going to take a very long time until I update the server. But I won't be updating the server till after stream. Which we're actually right around that point. So we did a lot today. We got our reactor hooked up to a turbine that is now producing power. We are burning more. We can safely burn more power thanks to using the infinity pipe upgrade on our reactor. But I am going to put it down to a limit that we are sustaining. We are processing all of our plutonium into pellets. And we're set up to start processing polonium. On top of that, we've set up the processing for DT fuel, getting heavy water from our pools here and electric pumps with filters. Our tritium comes from lithium in a solar neutron activator. Mix everything together and we get our DT fuel, then condense it down into a liquid. Which that quest should be complete. It's done. Awesome. Which begs the question, can I hook that one up too, or? Yeah, we'll I'll update the server so that we can turn in power at a higher rate, and we'll be good to go there. Why don't we finish off the stream by making a few more glyphs for anyone curious about the process. So I will clean up our inventory. And what you do is you take your spell book and you right-click a scribe's table. Now we can see that the underfoot will require a wooden pressure plate and iron boots. So what I do is I select underfoot, and so I click it here and then I press select. And now all I need is iron boots, which I will just craft manually, and a wooden pressure plate. Then, with the items in hand, right-click the table, and each item we put in blows up and a cool little animation plays. And the glyph pops off the table, and then looking in the air, right-click it, we now have that rune. Or a glyph. Sorry, I keep calling them runes. I don't mean to do that. And what that means is I have to go through here and give all the items it wants if we want to unlock all of the spells. Which I will slowly do over time. Looks like our runes of earth finished processing. Everything is going nice and smooth around the base. Storage is all clear. We aren't running into any issues anywhere that I've seen. We've got plenty of storage for everything. So yeah, we are all set, I think. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the stream here and update our server so that we can turn in energy faster into the task screens. I hope you enjoyed your time watching. And if you did, feel free to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. It greatly helps, and I greatly appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night wherever you happen to be in the world, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.